Hey guys, so today I wanted to discuss what it's like, or my experience, dating an INTJ as an INFJ. I've had a few requests to do this video, and I don't think this individual is watching, but if he is, I just want to keep it, not go into too much detail. But I would say one of the first things I noticed from him and myself is that our first date was at a botanical garden, walking around, and we were just talking the whole time, and we got lost in conversation. We were talking about actually MBTI. I was telling him what the different things mean, and we were talking about personal development and all just different kinds of dreams and goals and stuff, and that was kind of the majority of our conversation. And then we went off to a restaurant, and again we just sat and talked the whole time. And I would say that was the majority of the time when I was dating him. I would go over to his house or something like that, and we would just talk and do things together that were creative, or we would play this game called Tack, which is a very logic-driven game. Supposedly it's harder to master than, or maybe not harder to master, but it's similar to chess in a way. You have to kind of be many steps ahead, but at the same time, one little move from the other person could completely change the odds of that other person winning. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was a really interesting game, and of course he was a lot better because he was teaching me the game. But there were this one time that we played for it must have been close to 3 or 4 hours, the same game, and he ended up winning, but I was very close to beating him a few times. But yeah, that was very interesting. The majority of our, again, time dating was mostly talking about more abstract ideas. He's the only INTJ that I know that I've dated, but I would assume that other INTJs are similar, that especially with an INFJ, because we have introverted intuition, and I would think that kind of goes well together. We both have that kind of tunnel vision focus, and we're able to relate with one another. Something I noticed about him, and I've talked about this in my other video about INTJs, is that he's very passionate and tenacious about his goals. And something that I've noticed about INTJs, and I noticed about him, is whether they really like something or not, if it's something they're doing, let's say, for example, he was in school, he was getting his MBA, he would talk about something in such a way that kind of was very inspiring, made me want to do more in my life. That's exactly how I felt when I was with him, is I wanted to do more. I wanted to be the best version of myself. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and I think, I don't know, he had a height complex, because we're about the same height. For those of you that don't know, I'm like 5'9.5", 5'10", so I'm a pretty tall girl, and he's the same height as me, so where I might be a little bit taller. And I think he mentioned that he always wishes he was just a little bit taller than what he is. He wishes he was over 6 foot. And I don't know if that was a huge contributing factor, but that's something that I noticed that he was insecure about. But yeah, like for the most part, there isn't too much to this video because I don't have too much experience dating INTJs, but I do have a lot of INTJ friends, as I've mentioned before, and I don't know if I would say it's the most ideal relationship for an INFJ, or vice versa, but I always look at, especially in Socionics, it is the relationship reminds me of a butterfly or one of those ink blotches. It's seemingly the same on either side. INTJs and INFJs can be easily mistyped, especially those that INFJs that are more seen as logical and INTJs that are seen more as emotional or have a more developed FI. It's like a butterfly in the sense that it looks seemingly the same on each side, but it is different. And they connect. In Socionics, if we're talking about like conflictor relationships or duality or the supervision and supervisor relationships, those kind of cross over. So for example, or quasi-dual, they cross over with one another. It's like a never-ending butterfly or ink blot. I think of the veins of a butterfly and how it goes back and forth from one another. I don't know if this makes sense, like many of my videos, but if you found this video insightful in any way, feel free to subscribe, and please like this video and share it if you feel so inclined. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.